City, and I was lucky enough to get the Chauhan book to write. I conceived the book as a celebration of Ramesh's life, because I've known him for almost 40 years from New York. And it is a pulsating biography, I believe, in his words, basically, about how he triumphed in the corporate sphere. He's a man who has stamped Indian business as one of the country's leading brand builders. Mazda, Thums, Bisleri, Limca, etc. The book charts his trajectory from his young formative years to his business triumph, how he built his empire nationally and globally, and how he relaxes and recharges, and what he thinks about everything from A to Z. There are lots of anecdotes, loads of photographs, and revealing insights as to what molded this man. The book is the result of a conversation I had with his daughter and with Ramesh, and he decided he wanted to leave a legacy for his only child and his grandchildren. It also details the difficulties he encountered in setting up his companies, how he conceived and built them, and why he sold his beloved brands to Coke. Now he's giving back, he says, after he turned 70, to humanity in ozone therapy, check dam, water harvesting, pet recycling. And he also talks about how Gandhiji and Tagore touched him in many ways. I don't want to talk too much. I should allow him to answer all your questions, so I'm going to open it up to the audience. Just keep your questions brief so he'll be able to spend more time today. Okay. Any questions?
My question is to you, Patricia. How difficult was it, you're a journalist, how difficult was it for you to get under someone's skin and write their life story?
Well, I haven't had any problem getting under people's skin. I'm sort of accustomed to it. I've interviewed 45 heads of state for Newsweek, and some were very difficult to get to open up. For example, I remember the president of Bangladesh who came in there, and when he heard it was an Indian who was going to interview him, he sort of climbed up immediately. And I realized that when I sat with him, that he was going to be difficult. So finally I said to him, I said, what can I do to make him relax? So I just said to him, sir, you're so much handsomer than your pictures indicate. And with that, that was it. But talking to Ramesh is not difficult, because Ramesh is a friend. So it was a sort of, put your feet up and talk whenever he feels like it. Pick up the pieces, 3 hours later after a cup of tea. About a month later, he had to go back to Bombay and then come back to go again. No, I had to go to Bombay. So it's sort of a relaxed conversation. It was basically a conversation. And that comes out throughout the book, because the entire book is a timeline that he formed in his conversations with me. So it wasn't tough at all. With business, with a friend, there's no protocol. And with heads of state, there is a protocol, even though you might become a friend later. But talking to a friend.
Write everything down into a very comprehensive, very lucid way. She's done a fantastic job. And I don't think anybody would have any difficulty in reading any of the parts. No big jargons, simple language, and I would say colorful, but interesting enough.
Mr. John, it's great to meet you after 30 long years. When you conceived this idea, and that now you've penned it down through eminent author, your emphasis is as a marketer or an entrepreneur or somebody who is talking of his life's wisdom at this stage of one's life?
See, marketer I am, entrepreneur I am. So I don't understand the question why. But the whole thing is, it's a whole journey from the, and she has made it into chapters, starting from childhood to school, college, starting into business, and all my crazy ideas about ozone and PET recycling and other things, which are, I don't know, whether you can call it a hobby, passion, definitely a passion, but other things which are involved. Like I used to really enjoy toy trains, those electric trains. Now, that also has been captured into it. So I think it's a kind of fun. It's not a textbook by any chance. And nor is it an autobiography, which is a good thing, because you tend to brag about yourself. So, and that is avoided. And we are very fortunate that we were able to collect all these, I don't know how many pictures are there. There's a huge number of pictures. So, I must say that somewhere in our setup, my wife, she's got a good collection of pictures. And in our office, also there are a whole lot of pictures. And we were able to get all of them put together. And I myself, very fond of photography. So there is my old photographs and later on. So I think all in all it's a good fun book. And I don't think you should read it in one day. Read over a period of time.
Thank you.
When it comes to giving back to the society, what are your priorities? What are the problems and issues that you want to address first?
Well, being now in the water business, priority number one is water. How to do rainwater harvesting. God has been very kind to India, very, very kind, that we have the highest rainfall in the world. And unfortunately, 90% of the rain goes into the sea. I'm sure you are reading about floods on one side, drought on the other side. Now, after what 60 years of independence, 70 years, we still are not doing what we used to do. God knows, 2,000 years ago. And all civilization had to be around a source of water. Now, source of water, you can't have a river all the time. So, you used to have ponds. And every temple used to have what is called the
we call it Tari.
So every temple had a pond, and that pond was not only as a source of water where you come and take water and drink it, but it was a rainwater harvesting, a kund. So, and the person who released the book last month, he is busy, through the old surveys, land surveys, has been able to locate all the kunds which were there ages ago, which are buried. And he is rejuvenating all those schools. Now, there are so many simple things which can do. I think we've done rainwater harvesting in this center. Now, there is so much rain, why do you allow it to go to the sea? Now, if 90% go to the sea, you can make it into 80%. You will have double the amount of water available. And what is the point of lovely, fresh, clean water which comes in the form of rain? Allow it to go to the sea, and then somebody will come with the bright idea of desalination. Hey Baba, why you allow it to salinate first? Then you are going to desalinate. And desalination means what? Huge amount of power, capital cost, again the transmission of it. I think every part of India, every civilization or village or whichever, they are all located near a water source. You can generate power. You can have solar power, you can have diesel generators, you can have all kinds of things. So for water, what can you do? The only thing is how to capture the water and use it. Now, we have built some 29 check dams in Gujarat, South Gujarat. Now, you say, why you are going to Gujarat? And Gujarat was proactive and they took the trouble of identifying the places where check dams had to be built. And the question of getting permissions and this and that, all is overcome. See, we as a company cannot be involved in this bureaucratic run around. Now, Maharashtra government is terrible. They will not do the check dams, nor will they allow you to do it. They say, okay, this is state subject, the state will do it. Okay, Baba, you do it now. And the amount of water which you see going into the sea, through the rivers, through the floods, through many things, it is, criminal. And water, see, everybody talks about water will be the main cause of the next war. It's nice, nice argument. But is it? Yes, it will be, if we are going to be so negligent about it. And we are fortunate. We have the highest rainfall. And we don't know what to do with it.
My second question back to you, Patricia, and one for you, Mr. Chauhan, after that. Do you have any other biographies in the pipeline? Patricia, that's for you. And for you, sir, if we have a lot of potable water, won't Bisleri be directly affected? Of course, it will mean less pollution, plastic-wise, all over.
Well, actually, I'm thinking about it. We'll let you know in due time. Okay.
See, the plastic all over is where we are doing the PET recycling. I can assure you people, that you go anywhere and try and find me a bottle lying on the road. You won't. Why? Because we have done, I won't say a lot, but we've done some work in improving the value of PET scrap. So the kabadiwalas, the rack pickers, are able to pick up the PET bottles and be able to be remunerative enough to be a self-sustaining program. Now we don't need to be involved. We have imported a machine from Japan for about 1 crore. We did the PET recycling and we found week after week, we are buying at higher and higher price. I said this is in one way bad from business point of view and one way good. Then we are improving the market value of PET. I don't know how many people remember Okay, when the rag pickers came to your home to pick up bottles, they would take the glass bottle for sure, but they will not pick up PET bottles. They would pick up PVC bottles. Because PVC can be recycled into this cable covering syntax tank and all that stuff. Much easier. PET is more difficult. But we've been able to get that cycle going. And PET is now a very profitable thing to collect and recycle. So there should be no reason why PET should be lying around anywhere. What is a real problem are these polythene bags, which are very thin. So God knows how many millions of bags you have to collect to be able to make it worth your while to be in the business of collecting these bags. In Goa, what I'm noticing going to the airport, a whole lot of plastic bags lying around. And there's some kind of a dump yard. I was reading today's Times of India that they are talking about producing something out of this plastic. No, actually they're talking about solid waste. So I don't think PET can be a nuisance. And somebody asked me, don't you feel guilty selling water? I said, no. I am selling water for those people who need it and who want to avoid getting sick. The cost of see, anybody who's taken a decision, कि वो मटका में से पानी ले, कि take a bottle of water. I'm sure they're thinking it out. कि भाई ये तो free है, इसके लिए you have to pay 12 rupees. It is worth it. So nobody's being forced to drink it, and there is no effort from our side to close all water taps. So we are meeting a real need. It's an essential thing. Yes, sir.
There's a question to you as a marketer. Years after you sold Thums Up to Coke, Thums Up still continues to be the largest selling cola brand in India. What makes Thums Up so unique? What did you do to create a brand like that?
I think you should put it the other way around. You should ask Coca-Cola, what didn't they do right? Rather than putting it on me, because I was out of the picture. So whatever I did, if they had studied and looked into it, first of all, let's be very clear. You have experience with multinational companies. They've got ego larger than life size. And for them, like Pepsi, when they came in Delhi, the first thing they did was, hoarding. They put down, we are here. So what? Huh? So the fact that we are here, we don't need to be drinking Thums Up. Fine. History is there to tell us. So no, the basic thing is Coca-Cola company. It's called Coca-Cola. Now you can't have Thums Up as the number one brand. So that is what hurts the most. Now, it's unfortunate that the company is called Coca-Cola. If it was just called American Beverage Company, I don't think this problem would have been there. But see, their whole point was they had to make Coca-Cola number one. And in so forcing it, they were able to diminish the image of Coca-Cola. They priced Coca-Cola below Thums Up. Can't believe it.
If you have any regrets if you have any regrets, what would they be?
My one major regret is that I was not able to work as an employee in any company. Unfortunately. So for me to understand some of the behaviors of our staff is difficult. I can't reconcile. Because after college, I visited a whole lot of factories in America and Europe, and then came to India. And when you come to India, your boss's son, so what can you do? Get sucked into the business, which is not exactly good.
Any more questions? How about the...
Now that the cookie is in paint, when you look at it objectively, what do you feel? Not at Ramesh Chauhan, as Dr. James, not yourself, as somebody else. When you look at it objectively, what do you feel?
I think fairly that question should be answered by somebody else, not me. But no, I'd say, I don't know, putting everything aside, it's extremely well done, and we priced it at a ridiculously low price because we wanted maximum number of people can get benefit out of it. Because at $7.95, we are losing a good 100 rupees per book. So, but that's not a business proposition.
Back to you, Patricia. You took 1 year for researching it, for getting the information, and 1 year for the photographs, as I understood. And how long did the process of actual writing take?
Oh, that was done in a month. But then, you know, we had to go over and see what had been left out and then add that on. And it wasn't something I did every single day. You know, because I have several lines in the file. And so I would talk to him, then I would think about it, put it together, go back again if I found certain lacuna. And that's the way it is set back up in judgment.
To be fair and honest, it took 1 year to write. In a sense, yeah, in a sense that this part was missing, that part was missing, add this thing in, add that thing in. So, you know, I don't know how many times I was ready. And then, you know, give to somebody else also and say, okay, look, you know. See, the thing is, we didn't want to make it into a textbook. That's for sure. So it should be entertaining, colorful, and something which you can use over a period of time.
And also, we didn't have any time frame. You know, it didn't have to be done within. So, you know, there was no time frame. We just decided we wanted to do the best and produce the best. And I think it showed. Well, apparently it's time up. Thank you so much for coming. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoy reading books.